How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of Strictly Nintendo, where we are going to learn how to survive. But don't worry, I'm not British, and this isn't the Discovery Channel, so we're not going to be eating worms and drinking pee. No, we're going to be checking out the game How to Survive. So let's get to crafting and see what we come up with. After surviving an accident, you find yourself shipwrecked on a small group of islands off the coast of Colombia. And you soon discover that these islands are overrun by the Walking Dead. But unlike the TV show, you don't have to deal with that annoying little jerk Carl. You will come across other survivors that you're going to want to help by doing favors for in exchange for various items that you're going to use to ultimately, and hopefully, allow you to escape with your life. One of the individuals that you're going to come by is a strange man by the name of Kovac. He claims that he's been surviving on these islands for a while now, and declares himself a master survivalist, even claiming one island as his home, where he's built quite an impressive base. He takes you there and takes you under his wing, and teaches you the rules of survival that are outlined in his guidebook that he calls Kovac's Rules. He teaches you the basics of the zombies and how to defeat them, how to forage for food, find fresh drinking water, craft items and weapons, and even locate the various safe houses he's constructed on the islands. Now, when you find a safe house, you're going to have to do some cleaning because they're generally overrun by zombies. But once you clean them out and make them safe, you have a nice little place where you can craft your items, do some inventory management, eat some food, and even catch some shut-eye. All these things will be necessary to the survival aspects of the game. Now that you have the basic skills to survive, you're going to want to hone these skills if you have any hopes to survive and ultimately escape with your life. Now, the game is presented in a 3/4 top-down view and brings together different elements from various gaming genres, from hack and slash, to shooter, to survival, crafting, and RPG-style leveling up. There are 3 characters to choose from, and each have different attributes as well as skill trees. There's a limited amount of skill points you can obtain, so you're going to want to choose wisely of how to evolve your character, and this combination does provide some good replay value. How to Survive makes good use of the GamePad's second screen touchscreen aspects by allowing you to navigate multiple menus that you're going to need to take advantage of during gameplay. On the left side of the screen, you'll always see the map of the island that you're currently on, and on the right-hand side is the menus you'll scroll through. This is your attributes and level, as well as what armor or clothing you have on. It'll show you how many experience points you have and how many you need to get to the next level. On the next menu, you have your skills tree. This is where when you level up, you'll get experience points that you then use to unlock and upgrade different skills. Next, you'll see the survivors that you're trying to help and the current task at hand that you have to complete. Last but not least is your inventory. This is the default main menu that will always be on the gamepad. You'll be able to see the items that you have, equip weapons and items, as well as eat food, and this is where you'll do your crafting as well. And at the top of the screen, you'll always see your survival meters. This is health, hunger, thirst, and tiredness. Now, you're going to want to keep track of these because they can affect your performance, from your stamina, your strength, your accuracy as a marksman, and of course, in regards to health, your life. Now, when you hit the start button to access the pause screen, you have the ability to exit the game, of course resume the game, adjust settings in the options menu, and then also access your survival guide. Now, in the survival guide, you'll be able to access Kovac's rules and rewatch the little video tutorials that go along with the survival lessons. And these are actually quite humorous. The game actually does have a good bit of humor in it, and it's a nice contrast from the gore and violence that the game is really kind of centered around. You'll also be able to access your own survival guide, which logs the information that you've learned pertaining to what items are needed to craft various resources, from medicine to potions, weapons, items, and even armor. Now, the game mechanics are actually really simple, but nice and smooth. The controls, overall responsive, but a little loose. You'll notice this with aiming your gun, which you use the right analog stick to do so, and it's a little sloppy. When fighting a large horde in a high-action situation, it can get frustrating, but you'll be able to compensate for this by using incendiary weapons such as Molotov cocktails, so it balances out. But I would have liked to see more responsive controls, tighter controls in the game. And there's a lot of zombies to fend off. You have basic zombies, armored zombies, big fat bomber zombies, a Hulk-style zombie, which I guess is kind of like a mini-boss, and then you have these creepy Amazonian-style zombies. And, it starts off really easy, and then the more you progress through the game, the zombies get badder, and the hordes get much bigger, and it gets more difficult. So there's a nice progression there. The bomber zombies are actually really interesting because they'll run up to you, and when they get close to you, they'll just explode and do a lot of damage. However, you can use that to your advantage by, if they're around a bunch of other zombies, if you shoot them enough times, they'll blow up and take out all or most of the zombies that they're around, and that is definitely a cool little tactic that you can use to survive. Now, the graphics honestly kind of remind me of Diablo 2, maybe a little more up-to-date like a PC game from like 5-10 years ago, but, overall the graphics are really good. The audio I definitely liked. I thought that the environmental sound effects, the weapon sound effects, the voiceovers, all that was really well done and just a nice polish in general in the overall package of the game. One thing that I didn't really like is, when you go to continue a game, when you pick the game up after a day or so of not playing it, you go through menu after menu after menu, and it almost like the first time you do it, it feels like you're starting a whole new game. You're going through your character select, you go through all that stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's the continue. So a little annoying, but one thing that I do like is I like the load screens. The load screens while you're waiting of, whether the game to load or, moving from island to island, it's a little pop quiz that asks you various questions, multiple choice questions about survival, about the game. And you use the A, B, X, Y buttons to answer. And when you answer that, you get like 15 points of experience. It's not anything major, but it still adds value in gameplay, and it keeps you engaged and interested in the game. So, you're not just sitting through some boring load screen. And that was a nice touch. Overall, it's a really fun game. If you're looking for a game where, you don't mind that repetitive grind of RPGs leveling up, if you like hack and slash, if you're looking for something that has good violence and gore, that mature title for the Wii U, it's a game that I can recommend. It's fun, doesn't cost a whole lot, and, if for nothing else, you honestly laugh a good bit during the game. It's just kind of goofy and entertaining, and overall is something that I really enjoyed. That will do it for this episode of Strictly Nintendo. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care.